The Holy Gospel according to St. Luke, the 18th chapter. Jesus also told this parable to some who trusted in themselves that they were righteous and regarded others with contempt. 2 men went up to the temple to pray, one a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee, standing by himself, was praying thus: God, I thank you that I am not like other people, thieves, rogues, adulterers, or even like this tax collector. I fast twice a week. I give 1/10 of all my income. But the tax collector, standing far off, would not even look up to heaven, but was beating his breast and saying, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. I tell you, this man went down to his home justified rather than the other. For all who exalt themselves will be humbled, but all who humble themselves will be exalted. This is the gospel of Jesus Christ. Thanks be to God. Please be seated. So our text this morning, you can take it in all sorts of different ways. And you can do all sorts of things with it. I'm going to go a little theological. So, one of the things that I would like to pull out of this piece is the difference between righteousness and justification. So we're going to go theological on this, okay? Righteousness, in the understanding of the Hebrew Testament, righteousness is the ability to be in right relationship with God by following the rules and following the law, abiding by the law. So to be righteous, one will be able to get the things right, to do the right things. Okay, so our the Pharisees were a group of religious leaders who, instead of putting the most import on the actions taken at the temple, right? So some people would say that the way that you are made right with God is to go to the temple and make a sacrifice on your behalf, and that would make you right with God. The Pharisees believed that if they followed the rules the right way, that would make them right with God. So it took the power away from the temple and put it into their own hands, because they had the ability to make the choice. Do I fast once or twice a week? Do I give 1/10 of my income? Right? Like, I have the power to make the choices in this. So the Pharisees had that belief. Now, to be justified is different, right? Because justification comes from God as a gift. There's nothing we can do to deserve it. We don't follow the rules right enough to get it. We don't beg for it and get it. Justification comes from God as a gift. Now, we can be in right relationship with God. We can do things to help us live a righteous life. But justification is nothing that we can do anything to deserve. Let's look at these 2 characters from our gospel, and I am going to use the piggy bank to get us there. Because here's the thing, I don't think that either one of those 2 characters quite got it right in the parable of Jesus, and it's because they're missing a key component that we have. So I'm going to start with the tax collector. Sometimes when it comes to seeking justification, when it comes to trying to see yourself as worthy of God's love, we focus a lot on the gifts of God, right? So if the change in the jar, are the gifts from God that we have received, right? We receive them, and they go into our bank, right? That's odd. Okay. So, sorry about that. I'm sure I got this right. Okay. So if gifts, but I'm doing it wrong. Something's wrong here. I could focus then on God's gifts, or I could focus on the fact that I'm getting this wrong. And if I focus just on the fact that I'm getting this wrong, well, what does that do? How do you start to feel? Anyone? How do you start to feel? Bad, anxious,
Frustrated.
empty, frustrated, guilty, discouraged, defeated, right? If I can't figure out how to hold on to God's gifts, and all I'm doing is I'm getting these gifts, but they keep running away from me, and I know them, I see them, I experience them, but I can't hold on to them, well then yeah, maybe I've won that, or maybe I'm empty. So then how do we respond to this sometimes? What do we do when that starts happening? Well, we identify the problem, right? There's a hole in the bottom of the bank. That's the problem. So we need to find a way to plug the hole. Okay, well then I will plug the hole, and I will still be able, then I can hold on to, but they're in my hand, they're not inside of me, and hold on, they're not like in the bank. So if I put that there, and now if I do this exactly right, and maybe if I tilt it, there we go. Now, right, as long as I stay focused on doing it right, yeah, I'm keeping it in the bank. Oh, almost lost it. Okay, wait, no, focus. Okay, so now I'm holding on to things, right? Am I really seeing the gifts from God as I'm doing this? Not so much. I'm focused on getting it right. I'm focused on making sure that I have it all right. Ooh, and I can pick up these somebody else dropped. Too bad for them. Right? Oh, look at that. And I have a bank nice and full. See my bank? Yeah, I have a full bank. Aren't you proud of me? And how does that start to feel? Self-righteous. How else? What's that? It drains your energy. And I've constantly got to be thinking about, do I have the hole fully covered? Do I have the bank tilted at just the right, so that I can, am I holding it in a way that I can still access the resources that I'm looking for? But I'm not focused so much on what the gifts are that I'm receiving, because I'm focused so much on getting it right. And that's not helpful either. Because the minute that you stop focusing, what happens? You're right back to empty. So neither the tax collector, who felt so terrible about himself that he couldn't do anything with his life because he felt horrible, and there was no way to use the gifts that he saw. He saw God's gifts pouring down upon him, but he couldn't use them because he felt so terrible about how he kept losing them. Nor the Pharisee, who was so focused on making sure that the hole got covered and the bank got tilted and everything was done exactly in the right way, but who couldn't see the gifts from God anymore, and so couldn't share them with the world. Neither one of them really got it right. But what does Jesus say at the end? He says that one of them goes home justified. See, we have an option for something different, because we have the gift of Christ, the cross, and baptism. And when we are justified in that baptismal font, this cool little thing comes from it. A little plug. And look, we don't have to worry anymore. We just get to enjoy the gifts. It doesn't matter how we hold it. those gifts going in. That is so exciting, right? And we can focus on it. And it doesn't matter what happens with the bank, right? I could even toss it across the room and it won't matter because it's being held inside. And knowing the gifts that are coming to us and not having to worry about getting it right and holding it all right, when the time comes that we have the opportunity to get to share that gift, then what? Thank you, Lord, for all of the gifts that I have been given. May they be poured out for the use of others. And look, again I start. And again, the blessings flow. In the cross of Christ, in the waters of baptism, we are given the gift that we don't have to worry about getting it right. And we are given the gift that we are fully loved exactly as we are. You don't have to concentrate on following the rules exactly perfectly. And you don't have to concentrate on your failures. It's a both-and world. The excitement, the so what, is now that you are full of God's blessing, what are you going to do with it? Because the blessings will keep coming. They'll keep pouring. And every now and then, take the time to take the joy to give them back. Thanks be